Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a roving one, but I want to show you this. Look at that. Geese and ducklings and stuff. Oh my god. Pretty cool, hey though.
Good morning.
Morning. Just out walking. Look at all that fog. Very, very Stephen King. And there's a puppy who decided to sniff me. Going and walking around. Anyway, and yeah, still wearing the rubbers, look, see, but because of the fog, it's a bit chill, and you don't want to catch a cold. But it's in my Wallabies jersey. I'm talking about assumptions. When talking with a few people, and I notice this a lot, is that there's a lot of people jumping to assumptions and they don't really want to have a discussion. They just want to rant, they want to get on their soapbox, they just want to talk at people, not with people, you know. And how do you know when people are making a whole lot of assumptions? I mean, you can have like, for one thing, the main thing is that they're not asking the questions. Or the questions they're asking are demands or accusations or ultimatums with a question mark, you know. And a lot of things that they say are not their own words. They're tropes from other people. They're political talking points. They're slogans. They're, you know, stuff that they quote from official sources. And I'm like, well, have you actually sat down and talked with somebody about this properly? I mean, you know, there was like a few people that this on YouTube. There's two guys, and one's like, you know, I'm an extreme leftist and I'm an extreme righty, but we agree on things, you know, such as family and friends are important and loved ones and all that sort of stuff. But that's the thing though, when a lot of people get involved in good causes, they don't kind of, ground themselves. They believe a lot in, just a second, oh, I missed it. There was a cute little bird. I think it was a tit bird. It's not the boob tit, but an actual, anyway. People get lost and confused, or they get blinded to a lot of things that maybe they shouldn't, and they assume a lot. They assume because, I mean, people I've noticed these days are a bit more, here's a word, they're not listening to what is actually being said and the context it's being said, who's doing the saying and how they're saying it, and the experience of the people that are saying it, which is a bad thing, because then a lot of assumptions come into play and you're not hearing everything. It's like when I was talking to somebody about, you know, say an interview that Jordan Peterson had, and it's like, well, he didn't answer the question. I said, no, he did answer the question. His answer was, I have no idea. And I think I touched on this before with people saying, you know, just because some people have no idea or they're not giving you the answers that you're expecting, it doesn't mean that they didn't answer the question, you know. And I guess a lot of this is critical to communication, which ties into kink and stuff like that. And you got to realise that a lot of people, when you get involved with like big organisations and stuff like that, they're organisations don't care about you. People on an individual one-on-one basis talking to you care. Now, when someone takes the time to say or ask you questions about, now why do you think that, or try and explain things to you, they are caring about you, whether it's a stranger or not, whether you think they're an idiot or not, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you've got to think about, you know, okay, why do I think that they're an idiot? Because I made all these assumptions. Now, this person is taking the time and caring enough to sit down and talk to me and explain to me their point of view and the way they look at the world, you know, and they're assuming that, you know, you're not aware of their own point of view, so they're trying to explain it to you, and you're also assuming that they don't know what the hell they're talking about some of the times. And a lot of the times I see that a lot. It's the whole, oh, they don't know anything, they're blind, they're stupid, they're very dismissive of whatever it is that someone's having a conversation about, which blocks you completely from actually having a decent conversation about it, and shows that you aren't caring at all about what they have to say, and them as a person, an individual and a soul, as they are about you. And like when I say to people, it's like, you know, that whole attitude and all, so it says more about them than it does about you. What they do and what they say and all that sort of other stuff, and you know, it's very telling. But that also comes into kink as well, so not everybody who sits down and listens to you is really listening to you. And while communication is always a key with kink, to actually know and relate and be aware that not everything you see is the whole of everything, you know. I mean, there's plenty of things that you don't know, and we can only really act on what we know and what we see. Now, a lot of people are willfully ignorant and that they just don't want to know. And there's a lot of people that just are in denial for whatever reason. And I see this a lot, particularly these days. I'm critical of, because we've got an election coming up in October the 31st for our state. And a lot of people are focusing on, you know, the actual individual people that are running, not like in them as a personality, a person, not them as an actual politician, what they're doing, what their party and what they actually stand for, and the history of what they did and didn't do, and the way that they've contradicted, like have they actually changed their mind with regards to things as new information has come across, or have they just, you know, dismissed new information because it suits their agenda. And yeah, I don't know, it's a thing where I've talked to a few people and I've watched a few YouTube, particularly with the stuff going on in America, because they've also got an election in America coming up, and I think it's in November, and there's a person who's saying, look, you know, who would you most likely lean towards? Someone who, if you make a slip up, starts yelling and screaming and abusing you, and just talks all over you, won't let you have your say, won't sit down and explain things to you, or have a discussion with you? Or would you be more inclined towards someone who you think is going to be bad and abusive and mean, and they just go, I don't know, sit down, we don't care, you know, we're here to just have a discussion, you know. I'm not going to get up you or anything like that. You know, that's the thing. There's a lot of people that are telling you how you should live your life. I totally object to that. And some people goes, oh, you know, don't you care about the people as a whole? I said, in general, yes, I do care about people as a whole, but I think there's a lot of people who are sheeples, who are not thinking, and who really don't care about others and the whole way of living life. And it's not to say that, you know, okay, well, it's patronising, I guess, to tell people how they should live, how they should think, and how they should do all this sort of stuff. And it's not letting people grow and actually be humans and develop. It's keeping them in an infant state and infantilizing them. And some people like that because they don't want to think, or they've been drawn into that because, well, their life has been stressed out, they've lost their job, they have nowhere to go, they don't, you know, people, it's easier to just sit there, just take sit down money, as one of my friends say, and a lot of people will agree with this, than it is to, you know, make an effort. I tell you what, it's being on a dole and being on welfare is not good for your soul. You know, some handouts are okay when you need it, but only if you really, really need it. It stops your growth as a human and as a person, as a soul. That's just my opinion, not everybody else's, you know. Anyway, I have to go. And just think about it this way, like, I always talk about sitting down having discussion with strangers and people that are opposite in opinions and all that sort of stuff. And I think it is important to sit down and ask yourself questions and have a discussion with yourself, and think, okay, so have there been times when I've been dismissive of other people's, opinions, thoughts, caring? Have I just said, well, here's my qualification and I trump everything else over that, or this is this person's qualification that trumps everything? I'm like, well, no, you scientists still can get it wrong, and and doctors can still get it wrong, and a lot of people can still get things wrong. That's just they're human, And what have been your assumptions going in? What have you thought? What have you got your back up on? And why have you got your back up on something in particular? What have you said? Like, have you done things or explained things in your own words, or have you explained it in somebody else's words? Have you really, really thought about that? Sometimes it might, you might pick up a phrase or whatever that really suits and you explain it to people that way, but then have you really rethought that phrase, that word, that talking point, that analogy, that reference? Have you gone back and done more research, Anyway, I best be going. I'll catch you guys later. Keep calm, stay kinky, and have a conversation.